Now Bhagavan also moves on to another value. Again, it is, as I said, these are becoming more and more for a spiritual seeker. The values are growing more and more for spiritual seeker. And the next value he brings in is asaktihi, not shakti, it is asakti. So sakti means ownership. It literally means you cling to something. So this value is actually connected to anahankara, indriyarteshu vairagyam. We saw, a couple of weeks back as well. Asakti means absence of ownership. Don't be, what Bhagavan is saying here with this value is, don't be mentally enslaved to things and people by thinking, this possession thinking. I possess them. These are my people. This is mine, 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 mine. That is asakti. When you feel you own something, if you have this possession thinking, you will become possessed yourself. So avoid this possession thinking. Sakti, which is the opposite of this value. To understand the value, you have to understand the opposite. Sakti means attachment, dependence. This is mine, the feeling of mamatvam. So what Bhagavan is saying is asakti negates that feeling of mineness, mamatvam, is dispassion on the level of the mind. Again, bit like indriyarteshu vairagyam, we saw that, which is dispassion for the objects of the senses. So there we rein in our senses. Every time the eyes want to go out and get something, we rein in. No, is that healthy for me to take in? No, I avoid taking in that sense object. Same with all the other senses. I avoid taking in those sense objects which are not good for me. And that is on the external level. Now, Sakti comes on a deeper level. I rein in my mind. I avoid getting dependent on people, especially on people. People will come up in the next value. Two values go together, people and things. Too much clinging to people and thinking, this is mine, this is mine. That is what Bhagavan is saying one should avoid. For a spiritual seeker, it becomes an obstacle on the path. Because the more of you is invested in things that you claim to be mine, what happens? Where is the room for spiritual evolution? Where is this room for spiritual growth? Where is the room for Bhagavan in your life if you're always living with this feeling of mine, mine, mine? So here Bhagavan is saying there is a difference in life between ownership and trusteeship. In life, the attitude is what? I am a trustee in life. Everything I'm given. What is a trustee? A trustee is somebody who is not an owner but is given something to take care of, is given something to be in charge of. What is it that we're given to be in charge of in our life? First thing is the body. The physical body itself is not ours. I do not own this physical body. Who gave it to me? It is the Lord's gift. Any physical body, however your physical body is, you did not choose your physical body. It is Bhagavan's gift. You are, Shastra says very clearly, we are managing trustees of our physical form as well. That is why we have to be extra careful. If we're managing trustees, we cannot abuse the body. It doesn't belong to us. When you're a managing trustee of something, you make very good use of it. You take care of it because you're taking care of for somebody else, and you cannot harm it as well. So this is an important attitude to develop in this value. I am a trustee of everything in my life. Everything is given to me. People are given to me. My family is given to me. My children are prasadam from Bhagavan. Children are also not yours, not my children, my children. No, this is the attitude Bhagavan is saying have. They are Bhagavan's Ishvara prasadam. Could you, by yourself, your egoic self, have the intelligence to create such an amazing thing as a child, a baby? And you see the newborn baby come out, grow from cell to fetus, and then finally a form that comes out. Even if it comes out of your vehicle to bring out that baby, can a human being create such a thing? No, it is a gift. You are a co-creator, Shastra says, along with Ishvara. You are a co-creator in the process, but it is his property. Children are Ishvara's property. The more we parents have this in their mind, the less they will, again, that feeling of too much attachment will come. This also comes in the next value, so I won't delve too deeply, but everything is given, what this value says, everything is given on trust. We all have property, definitely possessions and everything, but it is given on trust. We are just trustees of it. Any moment it can be taken away. That is the thing. Any moment it can be taken away. What can we really claim as our own? Everything on this planet is given. We did not create this planet. Whole planet is made there for our survival. How wonderful. Oxygen is given for our survival. Plants and trees are given for our food. Everything is already provided. As I said, it's the biggest 7-star hotel that you can have. Not even 5-star, 7-star hotel. The fresh air, the nature, the whole world, Bhagavan has given us, because he is, again, for our growth here, growth, not just material growth, for our spiritual growth, we are here placed on this planet. Body, I cannot claim also to be mine. Just as I claimed the body to mine, my parents will say, no, we're the ones who produced that body. That body belongs to us. So body, I cannot say is fully mine. House, how can I say house is mine? Swami Dayananda used to say, if you go to a flat, any apartment block, and somebody comes up and says, oh, I bought this apartment in this apartment block, penthouse, and I've got this suite in this apartment block, then you can ask very easily, right? You can ask, well, does the floor belong to you? Does the floor belong to you? Who's the floor belong to? The floor of your penthouse is the ceiling of the flat below you, right? The side wall of your apartment is the side wall of somebody else next to you. What do you actually claim as yours in life, in that apartment? You cannot claim even space. If we say that space belongs to me, 2,000 square foot space belongs to me, that is also a ridiculous claim. Space belongs to this universe. So actually the notion of ownership is very funny notion. It is not really anything that belongs to us, because everything is, again, Bhagavan's. Everything belongs to everybody. So this possession is something that we have. We do possess things in our life. We have possessions in our life, but we don't have ownership. So the idea of possession and trusteeship is what Bhagavan is bringing up here. Trust, if you'll see, any trust doesn't belong to anyone, but we make use of it. The owner just has some rights, more rights actually. So to own anything, we have to be, what this value says, to own anything, to claim ownership of everything, you have to be the sole author of something to own everything. But nothing we are the sole author of. Everything is, everyone has contributed to make me what I am today. So all the success, all the achievements I have gained, it is because of other factors that have come into my life. It is not, I cannot claim ownership of every success in my life as well. So what this value, asaktihi, and it again ties in with the next value. It says that you own nothing in life. Ownership is just purely a notion born of ignorance, arrogance, and pride. You think you have, this is yours, and that is why it is connected to the ahankara, the egoic self. The sense of I and mine is the problem of this ownership. So this even knowledge, if we take knowledge, is knowledge really ours? Knowledge even does not belong to us. Isaac Newton, he once said a very beautiful sentence. He said, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. He never claimed the knowledge himself. He never claimed the discovery for himself. It is by standing on the shoulders of giants. He gave the credit to what? All the people before him who've also made discoveries as well. And this is exactly how even this knowledge, this parampara, this lineage, this knowledge of Shastra teaching also works. It is not a person that is giving the knowledge. It comes from Bhagavan himself. It is revealed through certain mediums in a lineage. Guru-Shishya relationship, it comes through the lineage, and nobody can claim any authorship. In fact, if you see the Vedas so beautifully, there is not one signature of a rishi on any of the shlokas or mantras. There's no signature. We signed this, we wrote this. any of the books, you don't find. Adi Shankara, so many texts are attributed to him. He never signed a text. Sri Adi Shankara wrote this, It is only added by other acharyas. So in the whole Bharatiya culture, there was never claim to anything, because knowledge is one, knowledge belongs to Ishvara. The idea is that we are just mediums to bring things through us. That is humility. That is true humility, to recognize you're but an instrument in life. If Bhagavan wants to work through you, he will choose your form to work through. We cannot claim all the credit in life for anything. So a Sakti he becomes, even in the smallest of things, I bow my head in humility to the greatness of Ishvara through everything, because without Ishvara, we cannot claim anything as ours in life. And along with this value comes the next value, which is very similar. Anabishwangaha putradhara grahadishu. It is this sense of ownership that translates to family and possessions. So here, Bhagavan is being very, very specific. He's talking about attachment. And this is a very often asked question. Can we really be detached from our family? Can we really be detached from our possessions in life? Well, Bhagavan is saying, yes, there is a way of becoming detached, but not the way you think. Detachment does not mean running away from family. Detachment doesn't mean leaving house and home and leaving everything. That is not detachment. But what Bhagavan is discussing here is developing a healthy relationship to everything and everyone in life. There is no dependence. I will limit my dependence on people, and I don't live in codependent relationships either. This is very important. Anabishwangha putradhara grahadishu means that I learn that, even because we saw asaktihi, that when I know that my family members don't belong to me, that my children don't belong to me, that my house doesn't belong to me, then what happens in my mind? You can see when I develop that attitude, there will naturally be a dispassion. We cannot say, don't be attached. Definitely there will be attachment. Sneha, actually, Sneha means friendship. Sneha is to stick. That the word Sneha means to stick. And this Anabishwangaha means non-stickiness. So you don't stick to people. You don't stick to your family. We can be very close to people without stickiness, right? That is the key. Problem is what? We get stuck to people. We stick, and then what? To pry open that relationship, it's painful. When you stick to anything you find, when the super glue, suppose you super glue something together, when you try and pull that, it is going to be very, very difficult for those things to come apart. So this Anabishwanga is saying, don't super glue yourself to anybody in your life. Okay, keep it very, very fluid. So Anabishwanga means intense attachment, over attachment, excessive attachment towards what? Children. Putra means literally son, but it stands for all children, daughter as well. Okay, so don't say, oh, I won't be attached to the son, I'll be attached to my daughter instead. No, all children, it stands for putra. Then dhara is wife, again standing for husband as well. We also have to develop this anabishwangaha from husband, any spouse. Okay, anabishwangaha. And putra dhara grihadishu. Griham is house. So it means your properties, and adi is anything you have this minus invested in. So anything you have this sense of minus invested in is the adi. So Bhagavan is saying, basically what this boils down to is all your emotions invested in one direction is dangerous for you in your life. Do not invest your emotions in one particular direction, because things are always changing. Things can come and go. And if your emotions, 100%, you put your emotions something, what happens? Putre nashte aham nashtaha. If something happens to the child, it happens to me. It happens to me. I cannot survive. It becomes like that as well. So anything that happens to anything I have over attachment, excessive attachment to, it happens to me. This is the feeling that that Bhagavan, Krishna is saying, watch this emotion, be very careful. Yes, he's saying also attachment cannot be avoided. That's why he said this word abhishvangaha is very beautiful. It's excessive attachment. We never say avoid attachment. We cannot avoid attachment. Attachment is a very natural part of life. Why? Because we live with each other. We move around with each other. We cannot avoid intimacy, especially during lockdown. We're all stuck together 24/7, all these times. So emotions will be invested. It is very natural to have, emotions invested in people. But what? Don't be over attached to your family members. Don't be over dependent on anybody. The only person who can remain unattached in life is a parivrajaka sannyasi, the one who moves from place to place. The reason as a renunciant, a sannyasi, who is given to this lifestyle, moves from place to place, is so that they don't develop any roots in one place and develop attachment. But we are all not in that type of lifestyle. We all have family. We have duties that we have to perform. So it is very, very difficult to avoid attachment. We cannot. Natural for families to be attached to each other and move around closely to each other. But what Bhagavan is saying is that have care and affection for everyone. That is fine. Have love for your family. That is fine. Care. You can care for somebody, but still be emotionally independent. This is the key. We don't know emotional independence. That's the whole problem. We think, we equate care and love with dependence. Care and love is not dependence. We can love and care for a thing and still be emotionally independent from that thing. How is it possible? It is possible when we see Bhagavan is the owner. It is possible when we see Bhagavan has that ownership of everyone who is close to us. Everyone I claim as mine, Bhagavan is actually the owner of. I am just a trustee of everything in my family. So this anubishvangaha doesn't mean you become heartless and cold to everybody in life. It has nothing to do with heartlessness, cold, feeling of cold. Vairagya or dispassion means objective caring. And that objective caring means what? I don't own you. I don't own you. These are very important words to understand. Nobody owns anybody else. Everybody else belongs to, everything and everyone belongs to Ishvara alone. Nobody can claim ownership of anybody else. When I have this objective caring, which is real love, what I will see, love actually is a very misunderstood word. When we talk about love, when we say, I love you, like this, we say it all the time. Do we really stop and understand what love is? Like Swami often used to say, prema is real love. Prema is selfless love, unconditional love. It is very difficult to have unconditional love. It's not easy to gain. All our love is conditional. However much we think it's unconditional, definitely there will be a little condition. I want this back. I expect this back. Very, very rare that somebody is totally unconditional. But Bhagavan is saying here, if you can develop that dispassion, that love, which says what? Love really says, I want the best for you. You want the best for the other. What the love we understand is that you do what I want you to do. Control. Love becomes control in life. When people behave the way I want them to behave, then I love them. If they don't behave the way I want them to behave, no, I don't want to be near them. It is all based on my own need. So it is not real love. When I start seeing love means giving others, as we saw in the value kshantihi, give others the freedom to be who they are. To that extent, you are free. That is real love. We allow everybody to be who they are, give them the space to be who they are, who, even if our children, whatever, when they come to a certain age, we have to let them live their own lives. This abhishvangaha, too much stickiness, being in their lives, involved in their lives, even at 50, 60, sometimes, especially in Eastern families, the parents will still carry on advising the child when the child is 50, go on. And this is not, what Bhagwan is talking about. There comes a certain age when a person is an adult, they have to go on their own path. And we have to allow that person to go on their own path and grow themselves. Yes, they may make mistakes, but we watch. If they need our help, we're there to support them. That's love. Let them make their own mistakes. People learn from mistakes, actually. So it is actually good sometimes in life to allow the children to make their own mistakes and learn from their mistakes. Then they become stronger. If you protect your child all their life, they will never learn to grow. They will never learn to handle challenges. It is only when you go through the challenge, you learn to handle it. We cannot keep protecting people from challenges in life. Of course, we don't want any of our loved ones to suffer. Nobody will want that. But real love is what? Real love, if you see nature, I always remember, and it happened in Puttaparthi, this incident with two birds. There was Swami was just going to come out for darshan, give his darshan. And there was this tiny bird just from Purna Chandra, he was going to come, and there was a tiny bird just sitting there on his path. And all the sevadals were running around trying to find it, trying to chase it, and it was trying to fly. I'm sure it was just learning to fly. So it was running here and there, flapping his wings, and nobody could catch it. Then the music, usual thing that Swami used to do, whenever all this commotion is happening, he will decide to come out. So Swami, the music comes on, darshan music. Swami comes out of Purna Chandra, and what happens? They catch that bird, but from nowhere, the huge mother bird comes and it attacks the sevadals. It is watching that bird, allowing that small bird to be by itself, to go through its own process, own challenge, learning to fly, all of that. But as soon as the bird was in trouble, we saw the mother bird come. It was such a beautiful thing to witness in nature. And of course, they the sevadals let that bird go. They realized there is somebody else watching that bird. There is somebody else protecting that bird. But what is that protection? That is love and care, objective love and care. Allowing the young one to do its own thing, allowing the young one to be free. But at the same time, if it needed help, it was always there to help. That is anabishwangaha, not ownership. I don't own you. I let you be free, and I let you live your own life. A famous commentator on the scriptures, his name is Anandagiri, he states the difference between attachment and over-attachment. So this is a very good thing to understand. He says, attachment, again, is mamakara, claiming something as mine. You belong to me and I to you. As the children to parents, husband to wife, this is the issue that creates a lot of problems when you claim somebody belongs to me, and when you hear other people saying you belong, sometimes we like to hear that, you are mine, we like to hear that, but actually it's dangerous on the spiritual journey. It is dangerous to have that type of thinking. So what this value says, anabishwanga, is empower your children and others to live their lives independently. Empower them, give them the strength to live their own lives independently and to make the right choices in life as well. So attachment, lack of attachment or dispassion doesn't mean also we have to be careful. It doesn't mean keeping away from others as well. Some people, they read these spiritual texts and they say we have to be detached. Be detached means no, don't come near me. I'm studying Vedanta. Keep away. You belong to Ishvara. You're not mine. They will tell family members like that. That is also going the other extreme. We don't need to tell people you're not mine either. We don't need to say you are mine. We don't need to say you are not mine either. That is a hurtful thing to say. But we learn through our actions to have a healthy relationship with people in our lives, healthy relationship with anything, not just people. Bhagavan has brought in objects here as well, your house as well. Don't be over-attached to your possessions. If something goes, it goes. Especially sometimes it's very, very difficult when people have experienced burglaries and things like that, theft and things like that, possessions that go. It's very difficult because we have an emotional investment in the possession. But this is, again, if we have the idea, if we have the knowledge that all belongs to Ishvara, whatever is taken from you is not yours anyway. Why? If you have the notion, this is mine, then only you will get hurt, you'll get upset, you'll feel sorrowful. But from the beginning, if you develop this notion, it is all Ishvara. Even if something is stolen, it is going back to Ishvara. If that attitude comes, we can avoid a lot of pain and sorrow. It is difficult, I know, because we feel this is my possession, this is mine. But again, it's attitude in life that helps one's growth. So when mama, this attachment is mama, mine. But what this commentator says is that when mama becomes aham, that is when the danger arises. When this mine becomes I, that is when the danger arises. We should not turn mine into I. Then that means everything happened to the object where the I is invested is happening to me. So wherever your I is invested, then whatever happens to that person, that object, then it is happening to me. If that person or thing is no longer there, I also don't want to be there any longer as well. I cannot continue. And we know all stories like this. There's depression, dejection, all of these things come. So what we have to understand is that, again, facts of life, we come together, we last together for a length of time, then all things separate. There is a saying in Sanskrit, there is a very profound saying, yata kashtam cha kashtam cha same yatam mahodado sametya cha vyape yatam tatvad bhuta samagamaha, which means just as two logs of wood, one log of wood, another log of wood meet in the great ocean. They meet together for a length of time. They go along together for a length of time. Then after the meeting, they part naturally. This is the meeting of all living beings in this world. We come together for some time in our life, and we all ultimately have to part from each other. That is also a fact. That is why, life is a lonely journey. We are alone in this world. We do come alone, we go alone. That is a saying, that is also a fact. We are all co-travelers on the journey of life, co-travelers on the spiritual journey. It is like going on a train. You enter a compartment and each one gets off at a certain destination. Others, you watch others get off, you watch others get on, you observe all of this on the train. Sometimes some point in the journey, you have to get off as well. So this is the understanding of life as well. We do come together, we do separate as well. And intense attachment brings grief. So Bhagavan is saying to avoid that grief and that sorrow, which are unwanted. Nobody wants grief and sorrow. I live my life in a very intelligent way. Not that I avoid caring and loving. I care and love, but I don't invest 100% of my emotional self in anything or anyone. Be prepared, Bhagavan is saying. You can cry when things part from you. There's no harm. But don't hold on when something is leaving your life. Agate swagatam kuryat, gachantam nanivarayet. Whatever comes in your life, welcome it. Welcome it as Bhagavan's prasadam. But gachantam, so when something is leaving you, don't cling on to it. Let it go. Nanivarayet. Let it go. It is Bhagavan's wish. That means your prarabdha, your karma is actually finished with that thing. You should be happy when we are here to exhaust our karma. When the karma is finished with a particular thing, it leaves your life. Why to cling on and prolong the karma? We should have this attitude. Yes, when something is going, Bhagavan is taking it away for a reason. Let him take it away. I will accept whatever reason, I will not cling to it. So this is a very, very important value. These two values, asaktihi means this lack of ownership, and anibishwangaha, Bhagavan brings it to one more level, to people in your life, to possessions in your life, to objects in your life, not to have over dependence.